Monster Hunter Wilds is my first Monster Hunter experience. Well, kind of, because I played Monster Hunter 4 on my 3DS like 10 years ago, and I'm not ashamed to admit I had no idea how to play that game. But this time around, I was determined to get into the Monster Hunter series proper. And as an outsider jumping into the Monster Hunter series, it seems like there has never been a better opportunity for new players to enjoy hunting monsters. Hello everyone, Jobin here, and today we look at one of the most anticipated games to be released in 2025. But does it live up to all the hype that it's accumulated? At the time of this recording, this game has shattered the peak player numbers of some very good video games. Elden Ring, Marvel Rivals, and Baldur's Gate 3 to name a few, but it's currently sitting at a mixed review status on Steam. Let's take a look at why this may be and ultimately how I feel about the game. Let's hop right in. I want to begin by taking a minute to talk about how easy this game was to pick up as a newcomer. Capcom has done a great job simplifying a lot of the tediousness of the prior titles. A quick example is hunting monsters. In games like Monster Hunter Worlds, you had to find footprints of the monsters so your scout flies can find them, and even further back in the 3DS titles, you had to shoot them with a paintball. This is now as simple as selecting the monster you want to track on your minimap and having your mount auto run you there. Myself and the friends I played with really enjoyed this feature as it gave us time to sharpen our weapons or heal as we were following the monster. It just speeds up the gameplay a lot, and overall it seems like a really great addition. And there are so many quality of life changes in this game to make it simpler than ever to hop on. The starting hours of this game are so well paced and drop you straight into the action. I purchased Monster Hunter Worlds shortly after beating Wilds, and the difference between the first hours of gameplay are staggering. Wilds takes no time to introduce you to big and unique creatures, and overall this is great for this type of game, just jump you right into the action. There is still, however, a learning curve to be had with this game, from sharpening your weapons to eating your meals before going out on a quest, all the way to trapping a dragon and capturing them.
Get him, go.
Yeah! 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 Hell yeah! Look at him! Woo-hoo-hoo! These are things that players should learn fairly quickly as long as they don't skip all the dialogues. Trust me, if you are a new player, it is in your best interest to at least skim through the dialogue because it does explain what you have to do. It explains everything. One of my gripes with the game, however, is the multiplayer. I don't know why Japanese developers insist on making multiplayer so hard to figure out. I'm looking at you, Mr. Miyazaki. It's like they wanted to be a goddamn Zelda puzzle, but instead of it being a heart piece, the reward is you inviting your friends to your party. And before you start typing in the comments, oh, it's not that difficult, shut up. It's stupid. Anyways, this isn't a how-to video, so go somewhere else for all that. But we eventually figured it out. My friends and I, we created a squad and pretty much just joined each other's missions from there. And I highly suggest to play this game with friends if they are willing to buy it and you promise to play with them more than one time, because it is really amazing when you play with other people. And speaking of playing, let's go into the gameplay. Now, this is where Monster Hunter shines so freaking bright. This is the epitome of gameplay is king. Monster Hunter is so goddamn fun, it's not even fathomable. I have literally had to force myself to stop playing so I could go spend time with my family. This game seems simple from the outside, but I promise it is so deep that you can literally get lost in the sauce. Combat is amazing. It's high tier in this game, and it is by far my favorite thing to do. There are a total of 14 unique weapons that you can choose from, and every single one of them plays completely different. You have slow, offensive weapons, fast, nimble weapons, tank weapons, support weapons, bloodborne weapons. 14 may not sound like a lot, but each one of these feels like you are playing a completely different class of hunter. I personally chose the longsword since the quick slashes felt more natural to me, and once I finally found out how some of the combos and special moves worked, I never wanted to stop anime jumping. I highly suggest jumping into the training grounds and messing with each weapon, because you aren't entirely stuck with the weapon you begin your upgrade path with, but it definitely helps streamline things later on if you stick with one weapon until you at least roll credits. Now, the combat wouldn't be so much fun if the monsters you fought weren't freaking awesome.
Oh, that's why they call it that.
Stupid. The monsters are so much fun to fight, and each one is unique. Some of my favorites are the fire chicken, the fire monkey, the fire dragon, and of course the farting ape. Oh my god. And this only scratches the surface of monsters that you will encounter in this game. I don't want to give an exact number of how many monsters there are for spoiler reasons, but there was definitely enough to keep me playing. And one of the parts that I found so cool was that none of the monsters felt like complete pushovers. Even the starting monsters take about 10 to 15 minutes to clear, especially in high rank. But let's not jump into that convo just yet. Let's first talk about the loot. So if you are new to Monster Hunter like I am, you may question, why would someone choose to chase a fire chicken around a map for 15 minutes? And the simplest and most obvious answer is for its carcass. Oh yeah, baby. Once we kill these fools, we get to wear them. And I gotta say, some of these armor sets are very good. They also let you make weapons, which are also really cool looking. Not as good looking though. This is Monster Hunter's bread and butter. You go out, kill a monster, get back to camp, make some gear, eat a nice cooked meal, and do it all over again. And the world you do it in is awesome. There's a decent amount of biomes in the game, and they are filled with monsters that make sense. Like a poison spider in the jungle, or a sandworm in the desert, or a dragon on the peak of a mountain with lightning raining down. All good stuff. But to be honest, if you play this game like me, you're just going to be running past most of the scenery anyways and focusing solely on the monster you are fighting. Yeah, sue me. I can't tell you the complexities of fawn and move in this game, but I can tell you nothing feels greater than fighting a huge freaking monster than its mama pulling up shortly after to help fend you off its baby. The map sizes are large, and I gotta say, thank God they added mounts, because I'm playing Monster Hunter Worlds right now and I'm out here climbing freaking mountains with my bare hands. So you may be asking, this sounds great, but what about the story? Let's discuss. I skipped all the cutscenes. All right, let's talk about the performance and presentation. Everyone's favorite thing to talk about is the performance of Monster Hunter Wilds. And unfortunately, this is where the mixed reviews for Steam come from. Now, for me, the game ran pretty well. I have a 4080 Super, and here's my stats on my PC in-game. And as you can see, I have a lot of extra power to spare, but this thing must be lying to me, because when I had the free texture pack turned on, my game was hitting below 60 FPS. And when streaming, I hit some very low numbers. I'm talking about like 15 to 20 FPS. 12 FPS, bro?
Please, Elder, you have to believe them. Everyone must seek shelter.
Which, follow me on Twitch. I stream like 3 times a week. So I scoured the internet searching for ways to help with my performance, and I landed on running the game on high and turning off DLSS. With these settings, my game ran so much better, and I never found myself going under 100 FPS. And I know I'm very fortunate to have such a powerful rig, so I definitely feel for those who are playing on older hardware. And if you want my suggestion, if you have anything weaker than a 30 series, at this point, I would highly suggest just playing the game on console. Some of the friends that I played with are playing on console, and they say that it runs and looks great on there, so it's probably a better option for you at that point. This is my first Monster Hunter, but from what I've read and what I've heard, Capcom seems to do a really great job dropping updates and features frequently for these games, so hopes of them fixing the PC port soon. Aside from the bugs, I did have the game crash on me a few times. In total, it crashed 3 times, and luckily never during actual fights. Each of my crashes happened during transitions like fast travel or when a scene was moving to a cutscene. In one instance, one of the crashes shut off my entire computer. I have no idea what happened. I don't know why, but I just kept chugging along. So this is a major issue for the game, and it definitely 100% affects your experience with the game, but it's not as bad as like Cyberpunk 2077's launch. I'm confident that Capcom will resolve the performance issues, but something I'm less confident in them solving is the presentation. The game looks amazing in some aspects. There's a lot of details all over the world, but some of the textures in this game just look ugly. And in some cases, I feel like Monster Hunter Worlds looks better than Wilds. I know it doesn't, so stop typing. I don't think it's a major issue for most players, but Monster Hunter definitely doesn't look good enough to warrant the amount of performance issues that we are seeing. I think this game shines when you're fighting 2 huge monsters on screen with 3 other players, each inputting attacks at the same time. The game can run flawlessly at some points. And I imagine that's where most of the hardware power is going to. The monsters in movement look great, and you're not focusing on the textures when you're trying to dodge a freaking fireball. Even though that's how I feel, I know there are people out there that are disappointed with how the game looks. All I can say is that gameplay is king, so therefore the performance issues are definitely a bigger problem. Also, side note, this game does not work on Steam Deck. It is not playable. I downloaded it the other day just to see if it would work. It's not happening, so put your Steam Deck away. Now, last thing I wanted to talk about was high rank, which is essentially the end game of Monster Hunter. You actually don't unlock high rank until after the credits roll, which is really weird now that I think about it. For many people, they may consider the credits rolling the end of the game, but in reality, that's where the fun starts.
What do you mean? Now we can finally play the game.
High rank is where the meat and potatoes of this game are. This is where all the best gear is, and by the way, is now transmoggable. For some reason, low rank gear you can't transmog, but high rank gear you can. Again, it just looks such a weird choice, but it does give you a reason to fight like the monsters from the start of the game. High rank monsters are more difficult and they have more HP, and some of them have complete new movesets, and others look completely different from their base game forms. They also have some monsters that are high rank exclusives, which I'm not sure if this is a norm for other Monster Hunter games, but this was something that was really exciting for me and I'm very happy about. I'm currently still playing through high rank, and I guess I technically haven't fought the true final boss of the game yet, but to be honest, I'm in no rush. I'm truly enjoying the ride. I'm having a blast booting up, connecting with homies, and just slaying some monsters. If you just play the base game of Wilds, you may feel let down or that the game was too short. But I think high rank proves that the game provides a substantial amount of content. High rank is what's keeping me playing right now, and we are already getting news of free and paid content coming in the pipeline. In the meantime, while I play Monster Hunter Wilds with my friends, I plan to play Monster Hunter Worlds on my PlayStation Portal. And maybe we'll pop this thing again. We'll see how it goes. All right, so what's my verdict? Well, as someone who's avoided Monster Hunter their whole life, I'm glad that this is the game that finally pushed me into diving into the series. It really helped having friends explaining things as we were playing, because the game definitely has a learning curve.
Do it.
I'm going.
Press it twice. Boom.
Nice. But if you don't have any friends, well, get no, I'm kidding. But there is so many YouTube channels, of course, that can help you, and countless of subreddits and discords. We live in an age that you can get into anything as long as you try. Kind of like me and YouTube. I'm trying, please subscribe. The game is fun as shit, but it runs bad. Your average Steam page review. I give Monster Hunter Wilds 8 Jobins out of 10. In reality, the game is a 9, but I just had to knock it down a few points just because of all the performance issues and crashes that I had to experience throughout my playthrough. But I'm loving this game, and trust me, as soon as I hit the publish button on this video, I will be hopping on right after. And if you want to see that I'm playing right now, again, consider following me on Twitch. I live stream there, more on YouTube, just because it's so much easier. But if you want to see my beautiful face on your feed again, consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful night. Toodles.